Can we talk about deli meat for a minute? You know, the sliced turkey or chicken you grab for sandwiches. It is supposed to be just, well, cooked turkey or chicken, right? But if you are like me, you have probably noticed something. It does not taste anything like the delicious roast turkey from Thanksgiving or that perfectly pan-fried chicken breast. In fact, it often has this distinctly deli flavor. A bit salty, sometimes almost ham-like, and with a texture that is, shall we say, uniform. Why is that? What is going on behind the counter, or more accurately, in the processing plant? I bet you have wondered about this. You would think a thin slice of turkey breast from the deli would just be a thin slice of cooked turkey. Simple. But it is not. It smells weird, tastes weird, and just feels different. It is like a completely separate culinary category. And it makes you wonder if it even is turkey or chicken sometimes. The surprising truth about deli meat is that it is designed to be different, and those differences are fundamental to its existence as a commercial product. Let me unpack why your deli meat tastes so different. The core idea is transformation. When you cook a chicken breast at home, you're essentially applying heat to a whole muscle, maybe adding a few seasonings. With deli meat, especially the prepackaged kind, you are looking at a product that has undergone significant industrial processing. It is not just cooked, it is engineered. And this engineering changes everything from its texture to its flavor profile, and even its shelf life. But why go through all this trouble? The reasons are multifaceted. First, there is preservation. Deli meats are designed to last longer in the fridge. Then there is consistency. Every slice should taste and feel the same every time. There is also efficiency in mass production and often cost-effectiveness. It is about creating a product that is convenient, affordable, and reliably shelf-stable for consumers. These goals necessitate a different approach than your home kitchen. It starts with one of the most fundamental steps, brining or curing. Unlike a simple roast chicken seasoned with salt and pepper, most deli meats are injected or tumbled in a brine solution. This solution is not just water and salt. It often contains phosphates, sugar, and, crucially, nitrates or nitrites. This brine does several things. It tenderizes the meat, adds moisture, and acts as a preservative, inhibiting bacterial growth. And here is the cool part. Those nitrates and nitrites are not just for preservation. They are key players in developing that distinct deli or cured flavor and the pinkish color often associated with ham. Think about it. Ham is pork that has been cured. That signature salty, slightly tangy, savory taste. Nitrates and nitrites contribute significantly to that. When applied to turkey or chicken, they impart a similar, albeit lighter, cured flavor profile, making it taste less like plain poultry. Now, not all deli meat starts as a whole, pristine turkey breast. Many varieties, especially the more budget-friendly ones, are made from what is called restructured meat. This means smaller pieces of meat, often trimmings, are bound together with various ingredients like carrageenan, starch, or protein isolates. These binders help create a uniform texture and allow manufacturers to use more of the animal, reducing waste and cost. The cooking method is another major differentiator. When you roast a whole turkey at home, you are getting that beautiful golden brown skin and the flavorful Maillard reaction on the surface. Deli meats, on the other hand, are often cooked in ovens that use steam or water baths. This gentler, moist cooking ensures even doneness throughout and maintains moisture but prevents the development of those rich, brown, savory notes. The result? Without that direct, dry heat, you do not get the Maillard reaction. This is the chemical process responsible for browning and developing hundreds of complex flavor compounds, those savory, nutty, roasted notes you love in home-cooked meat. Since deli meat is cooked uniformly and often with steam, that rich surface browning is absent, leading to a flatter, less complex flavor profile compared to a properly roasted bird. Think about the texture. Home-cooked chicken or turkey is fibrous. You can see the muscle strands. Deli meat, however, often has a smooth, almost gelatinous or springy texture. This comes from the brining, the binders in restructured meats, and the moist cooking. Phosphates, for example, increase the meat's water-holding capacity, making it juicier but also giving it that distinct, often slightly rubbery or squishy feel. The flavor profile of deli meat goes beyond just saltiness. While salt is definitely a prominent feature for preservation and taste, other flavorings are often added. Liquid smoke might be used to impart a smoky note without actual smoking. Various spices, artificial flavors, and even sugar are included to create a consistent and appealing taste, which can sometimes stray far from what you would expect from plain poultry. So, that ham-like flavor you detect in turkey or chicken deli meat? It is largely due to the curing process, specifically the nitrates and nitrites. These compounds react with the meat proteins to create those familiar cured notes. Pork cured with these ingredients becomes ham. When turkey or chicken undergoes a similar process, it picks up some of those ham-like characteristics, even though it is technically still turkey or chicken. It is a flavor profile built by chemistry. The foundation is convenience. Deli meat is designed for quick, easy sandwiches. It slices perfectly thin, stacks neatly, and does not fall apart. This convenience comes at a trade-off for the authentic, complex flavors and textures of freshly cooked, whole muscle meat. It is a product optimized for a specific use case, not for replicating a Thanksgiving feast. Understanding this trade-off helps us appreciate both types of meat for what they are. Expanding from that, consider the different grades and types of deli meat. You have your premium whole muscle options that might be minimally processed, and then you have the highly engineered, formed, or reconstituted varieties. The former will naturally taste closer to home-cooked, albeit still cured, while the latter will lean heavily into those distinct deli meat characteristics due to the extensive binders and flavorings. Think about water. Water is cheap, and adding it to meat products can increase weight and juiciness. Phosphates, as mentioned, help the meat retain this added water during cooking. This contributes to the overall weight and also impacts the mouthfeel, making the meat feel softer and less fibrous. While it keeps the product from drying out, it also dilutes the natural meat flavor and contributes to that unique deli texture. To understand this, let us look at the salt and umami. Deli meats are often quite salty, not just for taste, but also for preservation. Beyond sodium chloride, other compounds like hydrolyzed vegetable protein, HVP, or yeast extract might be added to boost umami, that savory, meaty flavor. This creates a robust, albeit sometimes artificial, flavor baseline that makes the meat taste satisfying even without the complex notes of a roasted product. What is fascinating is how packaging ties into this. Deli meats are typically vacuum sealed or packed in modified atmospheres. This, combined with the curing agents, significantly extends their shelf life. The processing ensures the meat can withstand storage and transportation, arriving fresh to your deli counter or grocery shelf. This is a critical engineering feat for the food industry, but it is another layer removed from the freshly cooked experience. Let us examine the ultimate insight. When you eat home-cooked chicken, you are experiencing the direct flavor of that animal, enhanced by simple seasonings and cooking methods that encourage browning. When you eat deli chicken, you are experiencing a highly processed product where flavor, texture, and preservation have been carefully engineered. It is not better or worse, just fundamentally different, designed for distinct purposes and expectations. Continuing on, the psychology of taste plays a role. We associate certain flavors and textures with deli meat because that is what we have always experienced. If you grew up with it, it tastes normal for a sandwich. But for someone expecting a direct translation of roasted poultry, it can be jarring. Our expectations heavily influence our perception of flavor, and deli meat has carved out its own unique flavor niche. Foundationally, cost and efficiency are huge drivers. It is much cheaper and faster to produce large batches of brined, formed, and steamed meat than to individually roast hundreds of thousands of whole birds. The ability to use trimmings and optimize for consistency and shelf life makes deli meat an incredibly efficient product for the modern food supply chain, keeping prices accessible for consumers. Let us dive into some more of the specific additives. Beyond phosphates and nitrites, you might find ingredients like carrageenan, modified food starch, or soy protein concentrate. These are binders and emulsifiers that help hold the restructured meat together, prevent crumbling when sliced, and maintain a consistent mouthfeel. They contribute to the uniform, slightly springy or gel-like texture you often encounter. Imagine if deli meat worked like this. Every component is chosen for a specific purpose. The salt for preservation and flavor, the phosphates for moisture and texture, the nitrites for color and cured taste. Even the cooking method, often a gentle steam, is chosen to achieve a specific uniform texture that slices well, rather than the varied texture of a whole roasted bird. It is flavor science in action, but a different kind of science. What if deli meat was not what you thought? This distinction is not limited to the prepackaged stuff. Even freshly sliced turkey or chicken from a reputable deli often undergoes a similar brining and curing process, though potentially with higher quality ingredients or less extensive restructuring. It is the process that creates the flavor, not just where it is sliced. What happens next if you try to replicate it at home? You would quickly realize how difficult it is to achieve that exact deli taste and texture without industrial processes and specialized ingredients. Your roast chicken will always taste like roast chicken. This is not a bad thing. It just highlights the significant divergence in food production philosophy between home cooking and commercial deli meat. The key is salt. We touched on it, but it is worth reiterating. Deli meats by their nature are typically high in sodium. This is not just for taste, but because salt is a powerful preservative that inhibits microbial growth. So while your home-cooked chicken might have a pinch of salt, deli meat often has significantly more, contributing to its distinct, often intense flavor profile and extending its shelf life dramatically. The result? Sometimes, deli meat can feel a bit watery or spongy. This sensation is directly linked to the added water and the phosphates that bind it within the meat fibers. It contributes to that consistent, easy-to-slice texture, but can also leave the palate wanting for the firmer, more fibrous bite of a traditional roast. It is a trade-off for consistency and moisture. Let us connect the dots on deli meat and history. Curing meat with salt and nitrates is not a modern invention. It is an ancient technique for preservation. Think of bacon, ham, or corned beef. These cured meats have distinct flavors because of this process. Modern deli poultry applies a similar principle, adapted for mass production, to achieve both preservation and a specific flavor profile that deviates from fresh meat. So the big picture? Deli meat is not inherently bad or good. It is a category of food designed to meet specific industrial and consumer needs. It prioritizes convenience, shelf stability, and a consistent, albeit engineered, flavor and texture. If you enjoy it for a quick sandwich, that is perfectly fine. Just understand why it tastes the way it does, and why it is different from your grandma's roast. The takeaway? The difference between home-cooked and deli chicken or turkey boils down to processing. Brining with salts and nitrites, potential restructuring, moist cooking methods, and a range of additives all contribute to a product that is fundamentally different from a simple roasted piece of poultry. It is designed to be shelf-stable, uniformly textured, and consistently flavored for sandwiches and quick meals. What I want you to walk away with is an appreciation for the science and engineering behind the food we eat. That weird taste is not accidental. It is a deliberate outcome of a complex production process aimed at specific goals. Now, armed with this knowledge, you can appreciate your holiday turkey even more, and perhaps understand why that deli sandwich hits differently.